Hello there, welcome back to Crafters TV. It's Saturday night here in the UK. It means, of course, it's time for the Craft House, where we throw open the studio doors and bring in some of our favourite brands, and none more favourite, there really isn't, than the lovely Sharon Callis. And she is back with us live in the flesh for 2 whole hours. Sharon, what a treat this is.
I am absolutely thrilled. I can't believe that I'm actually here and not sitting at home in my little box. So I actually get to be here live.
I don't, normally we are praying to the gods of Wi-Fi at this point, aren't we? Hoping that there's no stormy weather, but not tonight, no. Sharon is live with us in the studio. Such a treat. And because Sharon's here, we're celebrating we're celebrating by giving you best ever pricing on lots of these incredible collections. So today is definitely the day to shop, because yes, you've got brilliant deals. What you've also got for our 4th day of Craftmas is 5 off when you spend 30. Spend $30, pounds or euros or more, you'll get 5 off when you use the code 5Craftmas at checkout. Now, it was meant to be one per customer. However, you can use that code multiple times now as well. So if you shopped earlier today and thinking, gosh, I've used it already, don't worry, you'll be able to use it again. What I want to do is dive right in, give you an idea of some of the stuff that's coming up for you a little later in the show. Here is a Heartfelt Greetings collection. I've been very, very busy on this. $44.97 or $50.85. A brilliant selection of dies and stamps there that create beautiful concept cards, those ones. We've also got the flower fairies available for you as well. Very, very cool, these. They're like ballerinas. Are they fairies? Are they florals? They're all of those things, which is awesome. But what they are also is half price, which is brilliant. We've also got a From the Heart stamp collection for you. Really nice big bold sentiment on these. 60% off of them as well, which means you are getting a great, great saving there. Who doesn't like butterflies and flowers? I mean, name a better duo. I'll wait. $47.56 or $62.76 what you're saving here on this. Check out the platinum price. £16.30 or $21.50. If you don't own them, you need to be grabbing them at that price. But what we're first going to take a look at is my pick of the show. This is my favourite collection, actually, of all the Sharon Callis collections. I just think it's just quite cool. I feel like houseplants and succulents are really trendy-wendy at the moment, and this is exactly what you're going to be able to create with these. It's a massive bundle for you. Now, you should be looking at, for this collection, a combined price of £118.86 or £164.30. You've got a brilliant saving today there, as you can see, saving you over £80 or $115. That means it's $34.99 or $48.99, under £30 for Club Inspire Platinum members, which is absolutely incredible. Sharon is going to take us through this collection. Any questions that you've got, get them into me. Crafters TV on Facebook, Crafters Companion across on YouTube. I think this has been one of the most popular out of all of these collections. Wouldn't you agree, Sharon?
Absolutely. It's the most versatile of the collections, I think, because it's great for home decor, for your cards, for projects, and don't forget you can use these on fabrics as well.
Oh, really?
A little bit of your soft craft projects as well. So the versatility across the range is absolutely amazing. And at this crazy price,
it's bonkers
today, crazy price. Well, we had to celebrate because I'm over for the first time.
Absolutely.
And the way things are going, I don't know when I'll get back.
No, who knows?
We might as well go all out tonight. So I'm taking over. Nobody can do anything about it. We've locked the doors.
It's done now. It's done.
Done. So what I'll do is I'll take you through the succulent plants themselves that we have here, okay? So the first one we have is the Lila China. Now, if you're not familiar with my version of the Quilling dials, they're basically a 1 cut, 1 fold, 1 roll system where you've got 2 layers, and when you fold it along the perforated line down the center, you will see that you get all the alignment is done for you, so you don't have to worry about gluing layers together, worrying about alignment. It's all done for you, and you simply just quill it by rolling it up, add a little glue to the end to secure it, and there you have your succulent plant. So that is the Lila China. Then next up we have this one. It's called the Merry Maiden. So this is kind of a taller plant. So there are various heights of petals in this collection. So when you put them together as a collaborative, you get lots of depth and dimension in your projects. and each one stands out individually. It's very impactful. So that's our Merry Maiden. Then we have the baby aloe. So this is like the baby version of the aloe vera plant. And I was just thinking today, if you were to cut that out now in red and added a little bit of gold to it and use some stamens, I think you'd have a poinsettia. So you could play around with that one. So that's the baby aloe. Then the next one we have is the neon breaker. So the neon breaker is quite a wide plant and wider petals. And then we have the jade. Now I'll demonstrate the technique for creating the jade later on, because this is something a lot of people have asked about, because you'll notice that it has a thicker center line on this. So I'll show you the reason for that, but that's our jade, and it's the only one that creates a tall plant. And then finally we have everyone's favorite, the sword grass, because people have used this as backgrounds, as fringe, or use it with some of the signature collections, you know, to create little grasses to put your little animals in as well.
Yeah, also it looks a bit like seaweed. I've seen it used in underwater scenes as well.
Yeah, or maybe you could get away with it as icicles if you turned it upside down, did it in white, put a bit of frosting on it. But you can keep adding. So this is just one strip quilt, but imagine if you were to add 3 or 4 onto that, and how wide you could make that plant. So that's all the plants there, and I'll hand you back to Joe.
Amazing. And then of course what else you're getting in here is all of the other elements that you need within here. So let me take you through those just now. All the dies along the bottom there. And then what you've got is your succulents here. These are your dies. You've also got your embossing folders in here as well, all the way along, and also your accessories too. So your plant pot, your post there, your little signs, it all comes included for you. What you're all getting though is that massive discount, 83.87 or 115.31. It's very, very busy. In fact, you know what? You could well be getting £5 off of that as well, depending on where you are in the club. Of course, you've got to spend 30 to save 5 using the code 5craftmas at the checkout. A lot of people saying hello, a lot of people very excited to see Sharon here with us. Katie Easley says hi from California. Barbara's in Indiana. Norma's in from Pennsylvania. Mary Ann's in Pennsylvania as well. Katie Easley saying how lovely it is to see Sharon. Margaret Cook's here. Lewis is loving the Christmas jumpers. Mary Kelly says, Sharon's cacti are amazing. I have never quilled before, but love these. Sharon's done all the thinking for us. Linny says, when did the moustaches come off? Well, everyone else's has come off. But I've grown quite attached to mine. I'm going to keep it until my beard has grown back in, I think. So I'm going to give it another maybe week or so, and then I'll sort of trim it all over one length again. Normal service will be resumed. The sword grass is so versatile. I love the whole collection. I bought it at the full price, says Susie T. Alice saying, hello everyone from Wisconsin. I received some Sharon stamps and dies as my free birthday giveaway prize. I love them. And also, Ron says, yes, Sharon, some seagrass and corals would be awesome in quilling as well. Any other questions or comments you've got, get them into me. But I know Sharon's going to take us through a fabulous demonstration.
Okay, so I'm going to start with a technique demonstration. And I'm going to, as we spoke about, the jade. So this is the die that you will get. So with this die, I'm just going to use some green cardstock. For this, you can use white cardstock if you want, and you can ink this up yourself. But I'm just, for speed, I'm just using the green cardstock. So I'm going to run this through the Gemini, and you simply just place that down. Oh, another tip. I mark the back of all my dies with a permanent marker. So I know the names of them, because when you take them out of a package and then you want to go back and use it or list it in a project, then in case you forget the name. And when you have a lot of dies, a lot of flowers, a lot of plants, it's a handy thing to do. So I'll run this through the Gemini. Now I'm only cutting one layer, but these dies will actually cut through 3 layers of your standard cardstock. So I'll take that out, and you'll see how easy that they pop out of the dies themselves. But just be careful with the little petals, because they are quite delicate on that. So that's the jade die. Now, just to show you down the center of this, you will see that there's 3 perforation lines. We're going to as with all the quilling flowers, we're going to concentrate on the middle line for our fold. Now, we're going to add to the petals a little bit of dimension on this. So I'm just taking the back of my stamping mat and I have the flower forming tool. So when you go to add shape to any of your petals, remember that they will fold over in the center and you want the shaping to all face the same way. So if you want a closed flower, the cupping or the shaping has to face up. If you want an open flower, it faces down. So that's just to let you know on that. So I'm just going down one side. It doesn't take a lot, just a little bit on the tip here. Work your way down. Now, of course, you can add more ink to this as well, or even why not emboss it?
Yeah,
just add a little bit of texture. So I've flipped it over and I'm doing the other side. Now you notice these ones are all facing down now and these ones are facing up. But when I fold along the perforation, they'll all be facing the same way.
Fantastic. I guess that's what we want. We don't want to face in opposite directions.
Yeah, because it would make it very awkward for quilling. So that's how simple that was. So I'm going to go along my perforated line in the center now and just fold it. And I don't have to glue those layers together. They're going to be held in place by the perforation. And as you can see, the alignment is done perfectly on them. Now, as I said, if I wanted the petals to face out, I would quill it while the petals are facing down. But I want them to close in on themselves. So I'm going to flip this over. Now, before you start quilling, you can decide whether you want to use wet glue or you want to use a red liner tape. I'm using the red liner tape just for speed here tonight so that it dries straight away. And I'm putting the red liner tape along the top line here closest to the petals. So just add a strip of that. Okay, and then I'm just going to press it down. But remember with red liner tape, if you have inked your paper, the red liner tape will not stick down until your ink is dry. So that can be a bit tricky. So just wait until it dries before you go to put down the tape. Now, the top, I'm just going to bend that back a bit because I don't want it to stick to the quilling tool. Now to quill it up, you could use a lollipop stick, you could use a tweezers, or you could use a quilling tool. This is just a standard quilling tool. And what I'm going to do is, generally when you quill, you add the paper to your quilling tool straight on, like that. We're not going to do that with this because we want to create a tall plant. So I'm actually going to angle it here and I'm going to bend over just this corner here. The quilling tool is at an angle, and what I want to do is when I go to quill this, I want to bring the edge, the outside edge, right up against the middle perforation that's along here. So I'm going to turn that, and as you can see, the edge hits that. And as I'm going along, and I'm going to do the first couple slowly, you will see that the edge of the paper here, when it's twisted around, meets up with the center perforation. And watch what happens. It's starting to travel down the quilling tool.
Fabulous.
And you just take your time and then keep going. Mind your petals, because you don't want to rip them off. And just give it a little press as you go along just to hold it. And then you just keep going, and it's a lot easier then when you come down near the end. So we're just going to work the whole way down, and you can see it's traveling down the quilling tool. It's staying together. Now, when I get to the end, then I can just go back to just pressing it around normally. And then I just press it down. And then to get it off a quilling tool, don't pull it, because you'll pull off your petals. Get your thumb behind it and pop it off.
Perfect.
Pull out your quilling tool. And there's your jade. So you just fan out the petals, work it around, and that's how you get the height in your jade. So what we'll do then is we'll use this in the project in my next demo.
Awesome. And that's the only one you create like that, isn't it, Sharon? The others, then you just quill them in the sort of standard way, is that right?
Standard way, you just straight onto the quilling tool, quill it flat, as I call it. This is the only one that has the height in it, so you need to do it at an angle for it to travel down your quilling tool.
Absolutely. Right, remember what you're getting in there. Very, very busy on this already. 83.87 or 115.31 is your saving. You are getting all of the different flower dies that you can see along the bottom here. You are then getting, of course, your stamps and dies within here. You've got your embossing folders in here as well, and then all of the accessories that you need in die form. $34.99 or $34.99 or $48.99. Is your price. Platinum members today, $27.99 or $39.19 is your price there. Tammy Sir says, yay, Joe, I love your moustache. I'm so glad you are keeping it. Katie was asking about the 3 dotted lines instead of, say, a score line down the centre. I hope that makes more sense now. Susie T says, wow. Oh dear. Hold on to your craft counter. It is craft counter. Hang on, it's me. I mean, we don't normally see them this early in the show. What is going on? Right, I mean, as if you didn't have enough incredible deals in this show, you've now got 19 minutes and 53 seconds to take advantage of incredible deals. But as you know, as soon as the clock is up, the deals are gone and they are done. If you're watching this back later, you won't be able to get these deals. Now, let's start with the universal pen trays, saving you 30% on these ones. These are the original ones. They hold, it holds 6 trays. Doesn't make sense, does it? So you can see here, each pen tray holds 10 and you are getting 6, so it'll hold 60 markers for you. Don't know what hold 6 trays mean. You tell you what I do know though, you're getting a brilliant deal, $16.79 or $23.51 if you are a platinum member. Right, I've got loads of other goodies for you as well. So first up, we're going to have a look at, it's got some flower forming foam available for you in your craft countdown. 35% saving on this one, $3.89 or $6.46. It is the foliage greens that you've got. Can't have too much of this kind of colourway, so it's a really brilliant one to have in here. $3.11 or $5.17 is your price there on that particular one. The next one I've got for you is a princess stencil. It's kind of like I like to think of it, it's almost, Sharon, a bit like a reverse stencil, this one, isn't it?
It is. It's like a masking stencil.
It's very, very cute. And these are the kind of things that you'll be able to create with that for the princesses in your life. Brilliant, brilliant price. £1.91 if you are a platinum member in the UK, $2.87 if you're a platinum member in the US. We're also going to share with you and have a little look at the Ultimate Organizer set. Now, 45% saving on this particular one just here. $19.24 or $21.97. This has got everything you need in here to make this kind of thing for you. So you can see here exactly what you're making. You can make some fabulous organisers. You can make these as big or as small as you want, depending on the amount of leaves that you choose to pop in here. You've got all sorts of lists as well. It really is fantastic. It's beautiful and also very, very functional at the same time, which is excellent. So, and then finally, I've also got for you the final one here, Wild and Free. Now these are brilliant because it's like a creator card, but with a full stamp that overlays over the top of it, which is brilliant. What way am I going to hold that up? It's a funny bit of a skew with board. I'll hold it that way. And then these are the kind of brilliant projects that you can make using this particular die set. Lots of dimension, loads of drama in these as well, as you can see here. So these are the kind of things. I love the white heat embossing that's been done on that one just there. And there. You've got 70% saving on this one though. Now remember, those deals are hot off the press. They are amazing, but you've only got just under 17 minutes to get your hands on them. So make sure you are grabbing them really, really quickly. Any questions you've got, as always, just get them into me. Crafters TV on Facebook, Crafters Companion over on YouTube. But we also have another fantastic collection for you, another one that you've loved previously at a great price. It is our flower fairies that we're going to have a look at next. Now, I know how much you love this one, Sharon.
Yes, I have to say that I absolutely adore these flower fairies. There's 3 in this collection. We've got Aster, we've got Rose, and we've got Jasmine. So the first one we're going to look at here is Rose. Now the commonality between the 3 fairies is you will get the fairy itself, you will get 3 dies to create the flower skirt, and you will get the wings. You'll also get some extra stamps, like with the rose one here, you can actually see that we have little perfume bottles, a book, a rose itself, and 2 rose stamps. You also get 2 sentiments. They're for creating your backgrounds and to add extra elements to your craft projects. So that one there is rose. But with rose as well, you will also get a quilling flower die. This comes as well with its foliage, and to create absolutely gorgeous and stunning florals, you get a paper pad. So these are the Petal Perfection papers. You'll see some of them are an ombre tone, and some of them have shading in the middle, just to give you a bit of variety on those flowers. When you create, there's 30 sheets in each pad, and there is 6 different tones. So that is rose. Next up then, we have Jasmine, Aster, I'm getting confused, it's been a long day, Aster. So we have Aster, so she's in a dance pose. Again, you get the stamps and the dies to create the flower fairy itself. And if you have a look at the wings, you can also use those to create butterflies. And you have the dies as well. Yeah. So you can play around, you don't have to keep the same wings with the same flower fairy. You can mix and match. You can take one wings and skirt from one fairy and add it to the body of another. So there's a lot of versatility and variety in these collections. Again then, she comes with her own flower, and that again is a quilling die. And then we have coordination papers for her as well. Gorgeous. So that is Aster. And now we come on to Jasmine. Now she's absolutely gorgeous. And you'll notice that the poses on these are of dancers. So if you don't want to turn them into fairies, you could turn them into ballerinas.
Oh, nice.
Or dancers. And if you don't want to use the petal skirts, each one of them has got a garment underneath. So there's the versatility again, this collection. So for dancers, for fairies, but you can also use these as silhouette dies as well. So you can play around and have a lot of fun with these as well. So she also comes with her own little flower. And this is, I think, one of the smallest quilling flowers that I've done, the orange jasmine. But again, with all the flowers, they're all different sizes, so you can mix and match them across the collection.
Fabulous. What a brilliant set for you. It's a half price deal as well, which is amazing. Under £50 or $60. You want to clarify those pen trays. Here they are. So that holds 72 pens, that particular collection there, as you can see. Do grab those. I think that's the last of the clear ones. I haven't seen the clear ones in such a long time. So definitely grab a hold of those whilst we have them. But we are going to dive straight into a demo, I believe, of Flower Fairies. Any questions you've got for Sharon? We could do like a hashtag Ask Sharon. Halfway through the show. What do you think, Sharon?
Yeah, no problem.
About absolutely anything you want. Modern,
about anything now, that could be very dangerous. Very dangerous.
Absolutely anything. Yes, so do get any questions to Sharon. Crafters TV on Facebook, Crafters Companion if you are across on YouTube. Right, Sharon, what one would you like to take us through with these?
We're going to do a flower fairy, and I'm going to use Aster because she's, I think she's my favourite from the whole collection, and just to show you again that what you will get when you open the package. So this is the stamp set. You have Aster, then you have the 3 stamps for her skirt, but you also get 2 sentiments as well in this, and one is sprinkle kindness everywhere and best wishes. But if you see over here, then you've got a gorgeous flower and a stem, but there's also some fairy dust and that, so there's little elements. But like I said, you can use this across the collections. You don't have to stick with just using it for that. And then you get your outline dies, but I think she's absolutely gorgeous. I mean, you could use that. She looks like a diver that way round. Yeah, she looks a diver that way. You know, dancer, she can be upright or she can be to her side, you know. So you can play around with the pose as well. So what I've done is, right, so I'm just popping that over there with the stamps. I've stamped out Aster. Then I've stamped out her skirt and I've stamped out the fairy wings. And what we're going to do then is we're going to colour these with our tri-blends. I absolutely love the tri-blends. I'm going to use the Fair Skin blend and I'm going to use the Hydrangea blend. And just very quickly, because I've had some comments about doing skin.
Right, okay.
On these stamps as well. So, and I have to say, right, I've been colouring a long time and I have gone through all the colouring systems.
Okay.
But the tri-blends to me are just the simplest and easiest form of the ones used, because the blend is already worked out for you on the Fair Skin. So what I'm going to do is, with this, I'll just to do the leg, I'll just do the leg just to show you how to do a skin tone. So I'm going to saturate the leg with the lightest. So this is the FS 6.
Awesome.
On the pen. As you can see, I'm not wearing my glasses. So this will be fun.
Interesting that you take them apart to use them, because I use them together. I keep them all together when I use them.
See, I like to flip them between my fingers like that, and I just find that the easiest way to use them.
It's just whatever works for you, really, isn't it?
Right, I'm going to go then with the FSH, which is the darker tone. And on the inside of the leg, I'm just going to bring down a shadow and a little under the knee, and I'm going to come down this side as well, but not as far. So I'm going to have the shadow on the inside of the leg and down to the foot. Then flip, and I'm going to use the mid-tone, which is the FS7. And I'm going to bring it in a little bit more into the knee and down, but colour all the way down to the foot. So my highlight is the front of the leg there. And then I'm just going to bring them all together again with the FS1. And look how quick and simple that was.
Brilliant.
It's just blended in so easily. So the key is you saturate with the light colour, come in with your dark tone, bring your mid, and then blend it all back together. So that's just so quick. So that's quickly how to do the skin tone. And then for the bodice, the shorts, and I'm going to do the petals as well, I'm using the magenta blend, which is HB1, HB2 and HB3. Now this is quite a deep colour. So we'll start again. We'll just saturate with the lighter tone.
What are we calling this garment she's wearing?
A bodice.
A bodice. I always call it a bustier, but I'm sure that's not what it is.
Bodice, yeah.
I only know that because from Hairspray, it's like, I'm going to throw in a free bustier, and that's where I always heard it. I don't know what a bustier actually is. Do you know what? In the comments, let me know, what is a bustier?
Bustier. Bustier.
Bustier? Bustier? Bustier?
We'll just say underwear.
Yeah.
Just say underwear. Right,
or as my brother said, my brother thought that it was, my dad, well, who was it? He said that my brother said he wanted to buy his girlfriend, he wanted to buy her some lingerie.
Lingerie.
Lingerie, he called it. Lingerie is what he was talking about, of course. Lingerie, he wanted to get some lingerie, yeah.
Right, so I went in with the dark tone, then I went in with the mid-tone, and then I went in with the light tone and blended that in. So then I'm just coming over the other side. Another bit of dark there. So these pens are absolutely amazing, because I know I used to spend so much time going through my colour collection, curating what worked with what blended with which colour, what gave the best outcome, and these pens do all the thinking for you. And there, look, so I just have a bit of shading on the bodice.
Nice. And
it's not overpowering. So I did that. Now, I'm just going to put her aside for a minute because I want to show you how to do a petal. Okay, so again, we're going to do a light tone. So we're going to have a light base on that. So I'm going to saturate it because I'm coming in with the dark tone. So I'm going to have the tips of it lighter than the top. Okay. So I'm coming at the top, but I'm not going to colour in motion. I'm going to flick it down because I want a little bit of texture to my petals. And because the bottom colour is saturated in, it's absorbing it, but still giving me some of those flick lines.
Nice.
Now, if you come and you think, right, that's just a bit too dark, come back with the mid-tone and just draw it down a bit more, and it actually will blend it in a bit better and softens it out.
Fantastic, isn't it?
So that's the method that I like to use. I'll just do it once more.
And are you using a stamping card, or is it a Nina card you're using?
I use stamping card because it's thicker than Nina,
Right.
but the result is more or less the same when you're colouring. It's just because I'm doing a construction project, I'm using the stamping card.
Fabulous.
So flick that down, and then if I want to blend it in a little bit and take the harshness out of it, just come with the mid-tone.
Apparently that is a bustier.
A bustier.
That's what you'd call it. Her bodice, you'd call it a bustier if you were in the States. There you are.
Right.
Turns out I didn't know what a bustier was after all.
You did know what it was. Right, so I'm just going to pop these aside because here's one I made earlier. So what I've done is, so I've coloured her in. I've coloured in the wings. And then I've coloured in my skirt. Now on the tips of these I did dark in the opposite way, but it's still the same technique. And then if you get a little sparkle pen or your glitter marker, add that to the wings. And then you just cut them out. You put the outline dies will sit over these, run them through your Gemini, and then you're all ready to go for assembly. So what we'll do then is we put her together on a little card. So what I did was I got just an A4 sheet of stamping card, folded it in half, but then I cut it in half. And I'm going to do the inside, and I'm going to work from the inside out, right? So I'm just going to get my tape pen. So she's going to kind of float over the edge of the card. But of course you could do an aperture and have, you know, like acetate right behind that if you wanted as well. Right, so just use a tape pen, and I think I'll put them up this way, yeah.
I love
they
this
look
pattern
better.
paper.
This is another Sarah signature pad. We'd be lost without the Sarah signature pads.
Absolutely.
So on this side then, it's just repeating. So this is the textured cardstock, and what I've done is I've just gone around the edges of it with the Pale Fig Harmony ink pad. I like to do that to my pads. I like to cut it, and then it softens the cut edge and the harshness of it and blends it in to your background papers when you add inking around the edges.
Specifically nice when you've got like white core cardstock, isn't it? So it takes away that raw edge altogether, which I think is lovely. Yeah,
it does, and I think it adds a richness and kind of like more dimension to a card.
I'm just going to have to press pause for 1 second there, Sharon, if you don't mind,
No
because I
problem,
do need to just quickly remind you of the craft countdown items. I'm going to whiz through these. You've only got just over 3 minutes to get them in your baskets. Pen trays, first, a universal pen tray will hold 72 pens for you. It's the clear ones, which I haven't seen for a long time, so definitely snap those up. The other item I have for you is, of course, the flower forming foam. Great stock up on this when you've got it on a fantastic discount. We've also got that Princess stencil available for you from the lovely Sharon Callis. $2.39 or $3.59. Makes gorgeous projects like this one just here. Do you want to be creating gorgeous organisers? We showed you a moment ago. The dies that are going to allow you to create this are these ones here. They should be £35 or $40 today, $19.24 or $21.97. And the other one that I have for you is Wild and Free, which is this one just here. You've got a 70% saving. It's a creator card style die, quite a large one, and then a full stamp that goes over the top of that as well. So really quite fantastic. $4.31, $4.78 as a platinum member. You've only got 2 minutes to get them into your basket, so make sure they are there, because I would hate for you to decide you want them and then pay the higher price. Thank you for that, Sharon. Sorry to interrupt you.
No problem at all. Now, before I assemble my fairy, we're going to add a little bit of dimension. So I think that the body is quite flat. So what I would suggest was you just give it a little tweak. Just adds a little bit of roundness to it because you've got the outside edges. And then to the arm as well. It just gives it a little movement, and then flick that one out. And already it looks a little bit different, you see. And with the shading of the pens as well, it just brings her out. The wings themselves, just going to bend them up in the middle and then put a little foam pad behind. And then when it comes to the skirts, now you can curl with your fingers, but I like to use the ball tool, the small one, and just go down the center of the back like that. And it just gives it a little pop from that. Now I've got 3 layers here, but you don't have to use all 3 layers. You could get away with using just the 1 layer if you want, but there's 3 layers in the pack. And of course you could just cut 4 or 5 layers and just let them build up.
Could you double cut them and do a double one?
Yeah, you could. Now there's 2 ways of doing this. I could layer these up directly onto the fairy, which is great, but I'm going to layer them onto one on top of the other before I actually add them to the fairy. So I'll use the tape pen for this because, throwing things around now, Joe. So I'm just going to put a little bit of a tape pen here, and then I'm going to put the next layer, and they're going to meet right on the edge. Now you can do this a different way. This is just on this particular fairy the way I'm doing this one. You can put foam pads behind them and give more depth to each layer, but just for speed and handiness, this is the way I'm doing it, like that. And just giving it a little pinch so we have a flat edge for adding to the fairy. So come along and just use my tape pen on the back and under her bodice.
The end of the craft countdown. There you go. Congratulations. You managed to get those heels. Well done if you managed to snap them up. Time's up. Your time's not up, Sharon.
Is it not?
You've got ages to go yet.
Right, so on the fairy, just under the bodice as well, and on all the fairies you'll see like a waistband. Use that as your guideline for where you're adding the skirt. So just put it under it, and you see here, and I just press it down the skirt so you can still see the top of the bodice. And then we're going to add the wings to the back of this. Now you can use the foam pad, you can use red liner tape. I'm going to use the foam pad just for speed. So I'm going to put one in the middle here, and I'm just going to press it down. So put down your wings first, and then move the fairy up and down to where you think the wings should sit. And I think there is fine. So that's the fairy. Now we're going to add her to the card. So I'm going to put some foam pads, just one behind the wing, and I think we'll just put one behind her leg here at her feet to hold her on. So we'll bring in the card and then line up the foam pads here. Just kind of let her sit on the edge of the card, and that's the fairy. Now we're going to come in and we're going to add some of our flowers. So the quilling flower that we have, I'm actually going to, shall I cut? Do you want me to cut another flower?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, just to show you the smaller ones.
Lots of love coming in for you, Sharon, and the collections as well. Mary Reno says Lingiri sounds like some sort of pasta to her. Yeah, I mean, loving your colouring, Sharon. Adriana says it's like a milli colouring. Happy. Eleanor's loving the fairies. Dieta says such great tutorial today. Thank you, Sharon, for sharing your time with us.
So
really
much.
enjoying it.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying it.
There was a question that came in about something, Sharon, and I must say, it was people asking you what collections what we can expect in the future from your range, but also, would you consider doing a collection based on Cladda? Is that what it's called?
Cladda, yeah.
What is that?
In Ireland, there's a tradition. It was born in County Galway, where it's like a promise ring.
Right.
That you give. So it's a heart.
Okay.
And it's cupped by 2 hands, and there's a little
Was it
crown
like
on
the jumper you had on yesterday?
No.
You know, you had the jumper on yesterday. It was like the hands and the heart.
Yeah. So if you can imagine that on a ring. So it was traditionally given, you know, like as a love promise ring. And, or as we used to say, guys claiming their territory. Like that. So, but there is a tradition, you know, of Cladda prints, etc. Now, no, it's definitely something I would consider.
Definitely on your radar.
It's on my radar.
Amazing.
It's on my radar, along with other traditional and Celtic and folklore. So that's all I can say. I'll be in so much trouble.
You're not allowed to say any more. You'll be in trouble. You will be in trouble.
I'll be in trouble. I will be scalded.
You end up in the law court, Leanne.
Oh
so
yeah,
you end up.
yeah, and nobody comes out of there. She goes in, it's the black scarf on the head, and you just know.
That's exactly what it is.
We love you, Leanne.
We do.
Please don't hurt me. Okay, so I've taken a sheet from the pad. As I was saying earlier on, that there's a light shading down the centre and it gets darker as it goes out. The reason for this is it'll give an ombre effect to your petals. So all you do is you use it as a guide for the centre of your die. So you pop your die down on that. Now I'm going to tape it in place because the paper, it has a bit of a sheen to it, so it will move around. So it's better off to just place the die in the centre. So I'm going to pop that onto the magnetic sheet here, but I've also got the green and I've just got some foliage here. So I'll put that down there, and then we're going to pop this through the Gemini. So I'm only, as I said earlier, I'm only cutting one layer here, but for speed, you can actually cut 2 or 3 layers at a time. Now, so nearly there. Wind up. Oh, it's kicking a little bit.
Details on the screen for the heartfelt greetings. So we'll just change those back to you for the flower fairies is what we're looking at the moment. There we are, $59.95, $71.77, a half price deal for you on this. Getting busy now on this one as well. I love that you get the quilling pads included, but I'm guessing once you've used through the quilling pads, you could use anything you want, couldn't you, in here?
Absolutely.
Those paper pads?
I mean, this is where you stock up on your ink pads, and my favourite ink pads for the blending are the Harmony opaque ones. This is just one pad here. So they're great for the blending. You know, they're so smooth and they take to the paper really well, and then they mix really well. So if you're going to do your blending, I would pick up some of those Harmony ink pads because you will get a nice effect. And you could just use the white stamping card, you can use Nina, and play around with your inks on that.
Fabulous.
So this is what it looks like cut out. And as you can see, this is the effect I was telling you about. So you have the ombre effect where the center is lighter than the tips. So for this, I'm just going to use my nails and I'm just going to curve the petals up towards me. Now I could add more ink to this if I wanted, you know, and change the tone. The petal papers are your base papers, but don't be afraid to play around with them and add more to them. So once I've done that, I'm just going to fold it down the center perforation line. And unlike the jade, you'll see this is quite narrow, this one. And you can use liquid glue and you can use red liner tape, whichever you prefer. Now all the petals are curved in the same direction.
Could we use flower forming foam to create, could we use foam with the quilling flowers?
Yes.
Okay.
I've tried 2 ways of doing it. I've tried cutting it, and then before I quill it, I used the heat on it, and I found that didn't work great for me.
Right.
So what I did was I quilled it, and then I took the heat gun to it and a ball tool. So make your flower with the foam, have it sitting face up, and then use a ball tool to hold it down the center of the flower, and then just go around it with the heat gun, and it will take shape and curl for you like that. But that's the way I prefer to do it.
Okie doke. And also people asking about, who is it here that asked a question? Someone just asked a question and I can't find it. Could you use the flower forming foam to create the tutus on the fairies?
Yes.
Because you can stamp onto foam as well, can't you?
Yes, you can. Yep, use the foam. You can use acetate, you can use vellum. I mean,
nice.
Yeah, so
gorgeous.
Play around with them. Like, it's not just paper. You do fabric. You know, I find that if you have some gorgeous, like the Christmas print cottons, etc., you could turn her into a little Christmas fairy. And all you do is you have to use a fabric stiffener on it.
Okay.
And that's on the website. So spray your fabrics maybe the night before, let them dry out completely, and then off you go.
Perfect.
Right, so just get the red liner.
This is my arch nemesis, this stuff, red liner tape. It just doesn't like me. It just is. I can never get the back off, honestly.
Now, so.
There we are.
Now, sweat. the sweats, Joe, the fear. It's like the fear, isn't it, you know, with the tape.
Because the thing, you get your pokey tool, you come to it and you think, oh no, what if the backing doesn't come off? And then you start to panic, then the backing doesn't come off, then you panic more. It's just one of those things, isn't it?
And when you're doing it live and on camera,
it's almost like when you get back to the house and you really, really need to use the loo, and you start thinking to yourself, what if I can't get my keys in the lock? And then they don't go in the lock. And then you need the loo more. And then before you know it, you're like, the more you panic, the more they don't go in, the more you need the loo. And it's just a vicious circle. I was a bit too vigorous there because I've just lost my talkback system in its entirety there. Better put myself back in.
Okay, so in the collections as well, we have a die. This little fella here, and it's called a calyx. And what
calyx?
A calyx.
Oh.
Now you can use this to make flowers as well, and make a fabulous dandelion. If you cut it out in orange 5 or 6 times, layer them up, you can use that. But I'll show you what I use it for. So once you've quilled your flower, you just, as I said, your thumb behind it, pop it off your quilling tool. Now the back of this isn't very pretty, and if you're going to use this in a flower crown or you're going to put it on a pin for a lapel, you don't want to see that. So this is where these come in, the calyxes. So I'll just use a bit of a tape pen on this, and what it does is, now there's a hole in the center as well, so if you're quilling onto wire, then you've got a hole then to thread this up. So you just place this over the back, and that covers up all the workings and gives us a little bit of a more realistic look. So I'm just going to press that down, but now we're going to open up our flower. So all you do is you start on the outside, pushing down the petals, work your way around. Now they're quite flexible as well, so you can move them around, but we won't open this fully like that. But that's how simple and easy it is to make a quilled flower. And we'll pop this now on our card to finish off our little fairy. I'm going to use the 3D gel for this. Oh, before I forget, we also have a sentiment. Nice. So with this one, we've got the best wishes. So I'll put a bit of 3D gel behind that, and I'll pop that down over here. And then we're just going to add our flowers. So what I've done is I've made them in different tones, and some are open and some are closed. And then we have our foliage. And I mean, with the papers, the different tones on the foliage that you can get is amazing as well. And like I said, I have a few more of these calyxes, and we just use them as kind of like a base. So then we just layer up. So we'll start with here. I'll just put that there. And I'll put a lighter one here. So you play around with the papers and have fun. Of course, you can do green flowers as well. And then the one we've just done, I'll pop that in the center here. And I have a purple one here. I didn't put a calyx on that because I'm going to pop it in underneath. So that just gives a different look altogether to it. We'll come over here and we'll pop one down here. Just tuck that in under the sentiment.
Katie Easy says, the mental images, Joe, doing the need the loo dance whilst dropping the house keys. Who's not been there? If you're lucky, you make it inside. That's all I'll say.
Everybody's been there.
They have, haven't they?
And if they say they haven't,
they're telling fibs.
They're telling porky pies.
They are indeed. This is a problem though with, I find, I'm just going to have a little whinge, Sharon. Just a general lack of public toilets in the UK. We've got Christmas markets in Manchester at the moment. There's lots of lovely bars and outside bars and drinking places. Nowhere to go to the loo.
Nowhere to go.
I know.
Now,
beautiful.
There is our little fairy. But you see the depth that the flowers give you, it just brings it out to the front.
It's beautiful, really, really gorgeous. How are you going to put these together? What colour combos are you going to use? Which is going to be the first one that you are going to use? It is all up to you. Let me just quickly run you back through what you're going to get included then in here. You are going to first get, of course, the jasmine. And the jasmine is this gorgeous creature just here. And then the jasmine comes with the jasmine flower that you've got, and of course then the jasmine pad as well that is within there. Then you've also got here the rose, and the rose of course coming with the rose flower that you can see there, and you'll then get the rose pad which goes alongside that as well. So all of those three come into you, and then finally you've got the aster within here as well. Everything you need to make a full project on these, which I think is excellent. You've got the aster flower dye in there and the aster pad too. $59.95, $71.77. It's a half price deal for you. Now, lots and lots of bulging baskets over on the website. So I'm going to give you an opportunity to check those out. Whilst you do that, I'm going to share with you some of the stuff we get up to. But before that, don't forget, £5 off when you're spending £30, $5 off when you're spending $30. Use the code 5Craftmas. Just down there, 5Craftmas, and that will get you that £5 or dollars off. Here's some of the fun stuff we get up to.
Welcome to Crafters TV. With more than 35 hours of live shows each week, it's your home for all things craft. We shine the spotlight on new and innovative crafting products with live tutorials and demonstrations. Join our family of craft experts where fun happens every day.
Quiet. The neighbours.
I'm all out of Zoom. I'm so lost without you. I'm not singing.
Lisa, if you email in, don't send a picture of your air fryer. Make sure it's something creative.
Get creative and craft along. With our amazing deals, your next craft project is just a click away. Tune in live 7 days a week, or you can watch us on Catch Up at crafterscompanion.com, Facebook, or our YouTube channels. You can chat to us, craft along, and meet new friends by joining our online crafting community.
You entertain us, you give us a community to talk, in the chat. That wouldn't happen without you guys. It's like Crafters Companion is magical. There's magic here.
Joy, there's not a dry eye in the studio here. Debbie's welling up, I'm welling up.
There's a show for every type of crafter, from first-time dabblers to full-time makers. Crafters TV. Create every day.
Welcome to Club Inspire, the Crafters Companion community where you can feed your crafty obsession. Join our fantastic loyalty club today and receive 20% off your first order. We'll also give you 250 points to help get you started. Other benefits of joining Club Inspire include exclusive special offers and discounts for Club Inspire members only, exclusive sneak peek previews of brand new product launches, and of course the Club Inspire community group on Facebook, where you can access exclusive content such as downloads, offers and inspiration, and of course you can chat and share your makes with other members. You'll receive 1 point for every £1, dollar or euro you spend, and the more points you receive, the more benefits you'll unlock. So what are you waiting for? Sign up, join the club and start rewarding yourself today.
Very, very busy. Lots of you choosing to check out there. Diet says, first thing, Joe, look for the restrooms, then go shopping. No, there aren't any. There aren't any restrooms. That's the problem. And then when the shops close at 6, there's nowhere to go. Mary says, gorgeous card, wonderful collection. Margaret saying, I love listening to Sharon. Her accent sounds like how my dad used to speak, especially thumb and three. She particularly likes it when you say thumb and three.
We're like thumb 3.
Yeah, there you go.
33 tums.
Sorry?
33 tums.
Amazing deal on Succulent, says Dieta. Ellen Schwing Jones says, what a pretty card. She likes as well, love this collection. Love to see the creator demonstrate. Thanks, Sharon, for all the inspiration as well. You are all welcome. Right, I don't know why I'm saying you're welcome, like you're thanking me for the inspiration. We are next going to have a look at the butterflies and balloons selection. A gorgeous, gorgeous selection, this one. Is there a more iconic duo, Sharon, than butterflies and flowers together? There can't be, surely.
No. I mean, they are a staple of every crafter's craft kit, I think, at this stage, aren't they? So in this collection, right, we've got 2 butterflies. So I'll just take this out here just to show you, right? So the first one that we have here is called Mariposa. And just to give you an illustration of what you can do with this, and the fact is in the pack you will get 3 dies. So your first die in the collection, what it does is it creates this matte background there, that white one. And then your next die creates your floral border. And then your third die will create your dimensional butterfly. And each of these butterflies, the wings are kinetic, so you can actually move them around. So that one there is the Mariposa. Next up then we have Vanessa. And again with Vanessa, I mean, look how gorgeous that is.
How do you name collections like this?
The names kind of come when you look at something that's kind of girly and you just think, oh, it's like naming your child, you know.
What are your children called?
Kira, Evan and Ryan.
Ah, cute names, I like that.
Yeah. So, cute children, Joe, take after their mummy. So we have our matte layer, we have our decorative floral layer, and then we have our butterfly as well. So that is the 2 butterflies that you're going to get in the collection. And next up then we have what we call Butterfly Love and Butterfly Friendship. Now these are 2 stamp sets that also have outline dies with them. So you can also use these outline dies as well to create, you know, butterfly wings or fairy wings. You know, they're quite versatile in the collection on that, and you also get sentiments that come with those. Then we have, moving on, in the collection then, we've got 2, there are layered sentiments. So you have thinking of you and sending love.
Wonderful.
And then we have our little quilling flower die, which is the rose. So in this again, you will get your quilling die, but you'll also get your foliage and a little calyx in there for that one. So that's what you get in the collection. So I'm just going to pop.
It wouldn't be a Sharon Callis range, would it, without a little quilling die in there if there's flowers, let's face it.
Yeah, I mean, I love the quilling dies and I find them just so easy to use compared like to a standard quilling die that we'd all be familiar with, like that we would have had years ago. So it was out of necessity that my quilling dies were born.
Okay.
So speaking of quilling dies, right, I'm going to use the Mariposa, I think, for this. So I'll show you how to put a butterfly together first. So this is the first die that I was talking about. So this is your first die. So this gives you your mat. Then we have the decorative die. Now you can use this without the mat, but I think that if you want to make a topper, it's better to use them together. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the base layer in a white cardstock. That's just the stamping card, because I'm going to add a little bit of ink to that. But for something different, I've got some of our craft card, and I'm going to cut the decorative floral frame die out of that one. So I'm going to pop these through the Gemini.
Fabulous.
And then we're going to get a bit inky.
You can't have too many butterflies in your collection, can you?
No.
See, and butterflies not just for mistakes, that's what this collection's showing us. Actually making a full focal point out of it. Busy on this, look at the saving again, $47.50 you're saving, or $62. Platinum members can get this for $16.30 or $21.50. Cover your ears, Sharon. I mean, it is unbelievable, the value in this collection.
Well, the like I said, it's my first time over here, so we have to be a bit nicer to people, don't we?
We do indeed.
We do.
Yeah. We do.
Right.
So we have to do something special. We've rolled out the red carpet outside.
And they did. Big red carpet when I arrived at the door.
Sharon insisted on a Daimler to pick her up from the airport, which we have done. She'll only have yellow M&Ms, peanut ones, but only yellow ones. They've been put in the green room for her.
Crazy because it's true.
Only Canadian goose down duvets and pillows she's requested as well. It's all been taken care of, isn't it?
Yeah, they forgot the Egyptian cotton sheets.
Absolutely,
but
yes.
We'll say nothing about that. I'll just
we have to
write a letter of complaint
we have
later
to
on.
have her loo roll has to be heated as well, so we have to have that done for her. Cold towels for her and everything. I mean, it's quite the operation, but we're so glad she's here.
It is, yeah. Like it was. What can I say? I'm not normally a diva, but sometimes. Okay, so what we've done is, right, so this is our mat. We'll pop out that. And this is a decorative layer that goes over that. But I'm going to add a little bit of ink to the edges of this mat. And as I said before, I like doing this to my layers. It just gives them a lift off the backing paper as well. So when you ink onto white card, if you're actually putting this down then later on a pale backing paper, it just helps it stand out a little bit more. It will help you blend in. So if you have a backing paper, pick a colour from that, do it around the edge, and it just brings all your layers together, and I just think it adds something a little different to your projects. Right, so not too heavy-handed, you just go around with the blending tool. And then with the craft card here, and you'll also notice in this, there's little circles. They're like places, you could stick gems in those when it's down, or add them to the center of the flowers. You know, have a little bit of fun. Take your time when you get your dies. Look through the detailing that's in this, and then go through your stash, because I know I could open a shop with the amount of gems, sequins, and things that I currently have at home.
We know you've got a very well organised craft space because we've seen it, but I mean, have we only seen one side of it, Sharon?
Yeah, you've only seen
like
the bit I want people to see, a quarter of it, quarter of it. Okay, so on the craft card, I'm just going around the edge of this with the green topaz, the Harmony opaque ink. As I said before, these are my go-to inks. I absolutely love them. Right, so that just adds a little bit more to the craft card and brings it up a bit. So what I'll do then is I'm going to glue this down over the edge of this, but I'm just going to put that to the side for a minute because we also have our butterfly. Oh yeah, so this here is the waste from inside this, but don't throw that away because you can use that and stamp one of the stamps on it. But I'm actually going to use this as a mat for this butterfly, which is the last die in the 3-pack. So this is our Mariposa butterfly.
Excellent.
And when you die cut that, you will notice there's some embossed features, raised pieces in this. Now, what you can do, and it's probably the simplest thing to do, I'm just going to pop it back into the die. It'll sit back in. Grab a stamping mat, put it back down over it, and just hold it in place. And then get your ink dauber that you used earlier. You don't need to put any more ink on it, but just have a little fun and press it in. And you'll see what will happen then when you lift it off, and hopefully it'll show up on camera. Not too much ink, just in the center. And when I lift that off,
oh, cute.
It brings it out on the embossed features.
Nice.
So it adds a little bit. Can you see it better there? Yeah.
You can just about see it's very delicate, isn't it?
Very delicate. So you could add more ink if you want. And then what I'm going to do then is add that to the mat here. And when you do that and you bring it all together, and this one here that I've done earlier doesn't have the mat in it, but it just shows you what it'll look like when it's all stuck down and inked. And then I'm just going to go in and lift up the wings. Nice. Like that.
It looks like it's going to fly away.
It does. It just, like it's kinetic. As I said, you could go ahead, sure, I'm here, I might as well stick this down just to show you what the two varieties look like.
When I was in Vietnam, Sharon, there was this one place I went to, and the butterflies were so big. Honestly, they were like birds. They were literally, I'm kidding you not, they were like this big when they had their wings open. They were and they were like all around you in this hotel I stayed in. I couldn't believe it. I thought they were bats the first night when I arrived.
Yeah, no, that's a whole lot of no for me.
Whole lot of no?
Whole lot of no.
Oh, Michelle's with you on that as well.
Right, I'm going to use the dotty tape pen. This is perfect for your delicate die cuts like this because the dots only stick to the paper and you don't end up with all that goopy goo in the places, you know, like
Sharon,
the holes.
do you want a cup of tea?
No, thank you.
You all right? No, we're all right, Tracy, thanks. She's doing a round, yeah.
Now, and you just layer that down.
She's good to us, isn't she?
I just wiggle that around. There we go. And then here's the other butterfly, and then I'm just going to add that. I'll use a bit of the 3D gel down the center, pop it in the middle. So that's what the two of them look like. So, with a mat behind it and without a mat behind it. So what we'll do then is we're going to put them aside, And I'm going to take the quilling flower and I'm going to show you, if you don't have petal papers, how to ink up a flower. Right, so pop this down. So I'm going to do the quilling flower in white, but I'm going to take my foliage and I'm going to take a little bit of craft card and I'm going to do them in the craft card. So pop that down and I'm just going to run this through the Gemini.
Excellent.
So if you don't have the petal papers, don't worry. This is where you can have fun with your inks and textures. And before you ink it, if you wanted to run it through in an embossing folder as well, that adds something a little different.
Excellent. A lot of people loving this. Beth says butterfly collection is beautiful. Mary says, wow, what a terrific collection. Dieta says, I have this collection, it's beautiful. And Margaret says, Sharon, we love that you're here. Thank you for coming over and seeing
so
us.
much. Now, it's great to be here. And it's so different from, you know, doing this from home. You feel very unattached.
Had you done shows in the old studio then? Have you been over and been to the studios before we moved?
No, I haven't.
So this is your first ever time?
This is my first time
I'm
here.
so excited.
Like,
I thought you'd just been here before I'd been here.
No, because we've done shows in a past...
In a past life,
in a
so
past
me and Sharon
life.
know each other from maybe 4 years back, would you say?
Yeah.
About 4 years
4 or
back,
5
we worked
years,
together?
yeah. Well, 2018, Joe.
2018?
18? 2018.
Yes, it was. That was,
Yeah.
that was when I first started.
Yeah.
Where are we now? 2021? 3 years ago.
Yeah. It seems longer, doesn't it,
It
Joe?
does, doesn't it? Obviously, in my head, it was like 7 years or something like that.
not 7 years.
It's only 3 years ago. Oh, I don't feel so bad now.
Okay, so I've just cut these out in craft card, adding a little bit of ink. You can flick the petals on that. So you don't have to go heavy-handed. It's just like a subtle hint. Do it with the inks, or do it even with the Midas. The Midas would be absolutely gorgeous on this. So look how quick that was on the bit of foliage. Now this is our rose, and how small that is. If people can see that. Do I have a piece of dark card so people can see? Yeah, so people can see what I am doing. So this is the rose die, and I'm just going to go again with the same colour. I'll take a bit more ink up on the pad. And very gently, now don't rip it down this way because you will rip off all your petals. So come at it from the side. So just very gently, like that.
Now you're doing these quite true to nature, aren't you? I guess you could go full on abstract with these if you wanted to.
Oh gosh, yeah.
I do them in sort of mirror cards and all sorts of different weird and wonderful things.
Yeah, you can. I mean, I love, if you got acetate. So here's a trick then for Christmas. If you buy those battery lights, that you can, sorry, I'm just going to flip this over and ink the other side of the petals, right? So what I've done for Christmas is, now I have the aloe dye, and what I did was I cut it out in acetate, but I got my Spectrum Noir inks, and I inked up the acetate and I let it dry.
Okay.
Cut them out in acetate, used red liner tape, and I wrapped them around the fairy lights.
Oh.
So they look like that old vintage, you know, when you used to get the little glass flowers around your Christmas lights.
Cute, love that.
So it looks like that, and it's just a little bit of fun. So you could play around with that as well, because teenagers and everyone, they're big into their lights in their rooms now.
Have you, when will your Christmas tree be going up, Sharon?
Oh, it is up. I've got 3.
Oh, it's up. You got 3. Oh, I thought you got 3 Christmas trees up.
I've got 3 Christmas trees, not just one, Joe. I went big.
You went big.
So I've got one in my sitting room.
Nice.
I've got one in my hall.
Wow.
And I've got one upstairs on the landing in the window.
How incredible. Yeah. I want a real one again. We were never allowed real trees as a kid growing up. So as soon as I moved out, I bought my own place last year. So first thing I did, obviously, got a real tree. You just rebel against everything your family said you had to do, don't you? When you lived in their home, you want to do the exact opposite.
And we were the opposite. We had real trees, and I said, I'm never having a real tree because I'm never cleaning up after it.
But I feel like, where are we now? It's the 4th of December. I feel like I might have left it a little bit late to get a real tree, like a decent one. So wish me luck as I trawl around all the garden centres on Tuesday trying to get a decent real one. Fingers crossed.
Okay, so I'm going to quill this up, and as we were saying earlier, not like the succulent, I'm just doing this straight. And how easy is this?
Simple, isn't it?
You just cut it, you fold it, and you roll it. And the speed, you'll get quicker. I find I spend a lot of time when I get out my scraps box, I cut out a load of them. I don't even have to quill them up. I place them there and they're just ready to go. So now look, this is the rolls.
Oh,
and you
beautiful.
just work around. Now, if you have stamens, you can add them in the center before you quill it up. You know, so you can add to that, or stick a little gem in there, a little diamond or a little button or something.
That's
have
a
a
nice
little
idea.
fun. So when you have that done, then you just, see there, I put the little diamond in. So there's just a few that I'd made earlier. Apologies, they got a little bit squashed in transit. But that's our flower. So we've made our butterfly and flowers. So what I'll do is I'll pop it together on a card for you. So what I did was, right, so I got an A4 sheet of card.
Awesome.
And I got an A4 sheet of card, Joe, right? So what I did was I folded it in half first, and then I folded back on itself.
Okay.
I did the same, but I folded it the opposite way and then folded it back. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cross these over each other and join them together.
Perfect.
Okay? So I'll use the tape pen. So just
Someone
down
actually
to
did one of these
secure.
cards just yesterday, you know, exactly the same card concept. Wasn't it in one of the shows that I was on with you? I hadn't, because I hadn't seen one before. I think it must have been Debbie Robinson.
Oh, was it Michelle?
Or was
Michelle
it-
did hers today, I think.
Was it
very
today?
similar.
The other day, yeah. Because I've never seen this card concept before until the other day, and now I've seen it twice. They're like buses, aren't they?
Yeah,
card
like
concepts?
buses, yeah. So this is
I mean,
what
you
you
can't-
get. Now, if
yeah.
you had an A3 card, you could do the same thing and measure it out. So I've just got a piece of craft card and some plain card in it. So going to put this in the center. So that's the inside of our card. And then we're going to close this over. So you just burnish it down again. Now I burnish it down. So on the front panels then, so this was actually another Sarah signature pad. So I just place that over that panel. And then we're going to do the same on the other side. On this side. So it's a bit about the script the right way up on this one. All right, so that
It's
is
cute
the
paper
front
again,
of
that.
our card. Absolutely gorgeous. So that's our card mechanics done there. So now we're going to decorate the front. So I think I'll go with this butterfly here. But I only wanted to stick on one side. So I'm just going to use the tape pen. And I'm just going to go down one side. And I'm going to hover it over the middle. But stick it down. And then just check that it still moves. Perfect. And then we're going to add our sentiments. So this is in the pack as well. It's called Sending Love. So using a foam pad, just pop that down here. And then we're going to add in our beautiful flowers. So we're going to pile up the foliage first. So I'm going to pop that one there. And then I'll pop him up here. And then down here then I'm going to add two. So they were the ones I put together with the little diamonds in them. But you have diamonds or buttons or anything else. But that is our Mariposa.
How gorgeous is that? Really, really lovely. A beautiful, beautiful collection, this. And I just know something you're going to absolutely love putting together as well, which is rather, rather fabulous. Right, Sarah Callis says, love watching the magic of quilled flowers. Deborah Rogers says, I've finished putting my tree up. The kids just kept bugging me. There you go, those pesky kids. Diet says, in San Luis Obispo, that sounds like somewhere I want to visit, California, near the ocean, there's a place where the monarch butterflies migrate every year to lay their eggs and hatch. It's an amazing experience, there's hundreds of them. That sounds rather fabulous. Susan says, Sharon is fabulous. Please have her here more often. I wasn't going to buy the fairies, but now they are flying their way home to me in Boston. I hope you enjoy them. Right, we are going to go back to the succulents because they are so incredibly busy right now. So let me take you back through the different plants that you've got in here. I managed to kill a succulent. Can you believe that, Sharon? Because, I'll tell you right, before I go through the boards, the reason why it's very easy to kill a succulent is because you know you're not meant to water them very often. Then what happens is they don't become part of your plant watering routine. And there's no routine to when you water them. Therefore, you never water them and then they just die. I don't think I'd watered it for months, honestly, the poor thing. And someone said it was all kind of like, it just was splayed out. And it was sort of, stuff was oozing out of it. But someone said to me, saturate it in water, put it back on the shelf and it'll come back to life. Saturated it in water, didn't I? Put it on the shelf, absolutely no change whatsoever. Completely killed it. So this is brilliant because you don't have to water these ever, which is wonderful, and you're not going to kill these, which is brilliant. So let me take you through the ones that you've got. Lila China. All my other plants are fine because they're on a routine, but just not the succulents. You've got the Merry Maiden in here as well. This one is your baby aloe. This is my favourite actually. This one and the jade I love the most. I love the texture and the spikiness on those petals there with this one. We've got the, this one here is your Neon Breaker. The jade, I love the jade because it's got that, it's that really lovely sort of tall one that we talked about. And then you've got sword grass in here as well. Let's have a look at some of the other stuff that are getting included as well, because you're getting stamps and dies, embossing folders, and then you're getting all the dies here as well, which are your accessories. It's going to help you put these together. We launched this at the higher price. This was a very, very successful collection. When it was launched on here on Craft TV, very, very successful. I know it was very successful on HSN and Creating Craft, and it was very, very close to the full price that you see there. This is off the chart. We're coming to the end of this now. We need to make space in the warehouse, so this is your opportunity to snap an absolute bargain. I think if you don't own this collection, then it's just a grab it at this price. Also, don't forget, when you're spending over £30 or dollars, you're going to save $5, which is amazing. So make sure you're using the code CRAFTMAS5 at checkout. Right, so let's take you through some of these beautiful samples that we've got just here. And again, you can see so much detail here within this, which is awesome. Pair them together as well. Think about clustering them up and using all the different ones. So in here you can see you've got that one's a baby aloe. Oh, they're all two of the baby aloe there with another little one, a jade one just stuck in behind there. Love this one here. Who doesn't love a bit of glitz glam? And again, look how lush and full and dense this particular project is just there. I mean, that is incredible, the amount of dimension you can create. The embossing folders are beautiful. I especially love the little terrarium one. That is loads of fun. This is so cute as well. It's like a little sign that you've got just there. Another beautiful one there. And I mean, I'm going to stop saying they're beautiful because they are all gorgeous. Lots of different things you can do with them though. You've got the like cloches, the little terrariums that you can buy, the little bowls. You can make real kind of home decor items with these, as well as of course incorporating them into cards, scrapbooks and all the other ways that you use your standard crafting stuff. Right, lots of you loving these. Margaret says, I could listen to Sharon all night. I've saved this show so I can watch it back again. Love Sharon, would love her to be a regular. Mary Reno says, you're not alone on killing succulents, Joe. I know, it's just one of those things, isn't it? Beth loving the deals on this as well. Brilliant deal on this, brilliant price, and such a popular collection, wasn't it, Sharon, when we launched it?
Oh, it was. It absolutely, it blew out the water, and the comments that I got from people, because it was something that they hadn't seen before and they could see the practicality of it, and it's still proven to be really, really popular. And as I said, you can use this all year round. It's not like, you know, a seasonal plant like a daisy on any kind of card or project, because succulents are all year, no matter what you're making. You don't have to do them in colour. You could do them in whites. You could play around again with the fabrics and stuff. So I think the versatility in this collection, and the fact then that you could use this as well, mix and match it with other collections, like use your sword grass with your flower fairies to add dimension, like the Lila China as well. So if you look at like the Lila China there, the little petals, you can know like a lily pad, you could make that in white. So just have a bit of fun, there's no limit. I mean, I used to be guilty of that as a crafter when I got a product in a package, and I'd say, right, this was the use and the purpose. But when I forgot the packaging, just had fun with the product, you discover new ways of using things all the time. So we're going to go back to the succulents now, and I'm going to show you how to do a card using the plant pot and how to get dimension with that. So what I'm going to do is, and I'm going to have a bit of fun with the colours as well. So I'm going to use non-standard colours on the plants. So like this is the baby aloe. So I'm going to use brown on that. And I'm going to use the Lila China. I'll do a pale green on that. And then the Merry Maiden, we're going to go for a green on that. So I'm just going to cut them out. And you will see then like how quickly a project can come together once you cut these, because you're not spending your time double cutting layers, trying to do the alignment, waiting for those layers to dry, then trying to quill, and then when you're quilling it's splitting apart or going all bulky. And that was another big problem with quilling, because you couldn't get a perfect roll on them. But with this system you will, because there's less glue in it. And also if you go wrong when you're rolling it up, just peel it back. It's not going to affect the layers. So it's a very forgiving way.
Do you do any
of
other
doing
kind of quilling, Sharon? You
Yeah.
know, like pictures and
The
stuff?
standard, the traditional,
Traditional
yeah.
quilling. Do you do that sort of stuff?
Yeah, I do, yeah. So what I've done is now, it can be very time consuming, but I love to sketch up like a diorama or an image, or very, people are very familiar with the letters, you know, the way
Yes.
you'd quill up the letters and then you would follow the line. So I find that very therapeutic as well. Like it's a bit of fun. So that, to me, I call that flat quilling.
Flat quilling.
Well, to me, that's the term I use for it now. But I'm
People do
sure.
all sorts, don't they? Animals and all sorts of imagery, which is quite wonderful.
I saw a gorgeous one online. It was a lion.
Wow.
And they had done the mane, and it was just absolutely phenomenal. But I saw another lady, and I saw it, and it's like I do a lot. I see projects online and then I move on and I forget to bookmark it. But what she did was she quilled, but she quilled with a clear acetate.
Oh, wow.
And then she got resin and poured it into all the gaps.
Oh, like flooded it.
Oh my gosh, it was absolutely
amazing,
gorgeous. And there's another one I saw online where they did it in copper strips.
Copper strips.
Copper
wow.
strips, and they melted it, then kind of a glitter resin into it. You know, so it was. I should be
fabulous.
cleaning the mat. I think if Michelle could see me now, wrecking her mat. So I'm just adding a little bit of darker colour to the tips. Nothing fancy.
How did you start crafting, Sharon?
Gosh, well, I mean, Joe, crafting was a big part of my life when I was growing up. Like, it was in school, part of the curriculum in primary school was you learn to sew, you learn to knit, you learn to crochet. And a lot of, we used to love Fridays because that was like, you know, our day for doing projects like that. And I always found that I preferred the sewing and the painting. And I mean, my fondest memories of school was the day you went in and she got out the roll of brown paper, poured the inks and the paints, you know, into the pot and just let you go hell for leather, you know. But my parents, I think, were absolutely sick of me coming home with, oh, here's another picture, here's another painting, where am I going to hang this? Now, with the baby aloe, I'm going to come from the centre out, but I'm going to use a dauber and just flicking out a little bit of the dark. Right, so this one is plum jam.
Nice.
And these pads are just so juicy. So I'm just flicking it out like that. Let it settle a minute and then go back, because you can spread it then, because the heaviness has gone into it. So put a bit down, just let it settle a minute, then come back and just smooth it out.
Fabulous tip.
Like that. So I'm going to flip it over. Just saves on ink as well if we do it this way. So come it down. God, I think sometimes I could use this as lipstick. The colour is just absolutely amazing. If
We can't
if you're
advocate
stuck,
that, obviously.
no,
Please don't.
No, but I just
Imagine
I
someone
love
goes
the
out,
shade.
puts like a very statement purple lip on,
Yeah.
using opaque pigment, can't get it off for days.
I'll just go in with the dauber and say, have you got this shade?
You'd come in with lips like Debbie Robinson's hands, wouldn't you? Can
Yeah.
you imagine?
Right, so that's all the inking. Now that was very quick. And you don't have to be too particular, too precise when you're doing that. So now we're just going to quill these up really quick. So just going to fold this over and then we'll quill them up. Now, like I said, I've used ink there. So if I go ahead with the red liner tape, it's just not going to stick for me. So I'm not even going to try with the red liner tape. We're going to go with the liquid glue. So to use the liquid glue, you just start it off on the quilling tool, pinch in your flowers. Then you get your glue with the precision tip is what I like. So I put a little bit here. Oh, it's dried up a little bit on me there now. Bear with me and I'll stick the pokey tool in. The studio lights are the culprit there, will blame me. So there we go. So just put a little bit there, a little bit here, because remember glue travels when you squeeze the quilling. And it'll move the glue along into the gaps, so don't worry about it. So we just quill this up and just come around down to the end. Now the textured cardstock is thicker than your standard paper, so you'll get a wider
Yeah, you can really see the difference,
base
can't
on
you?
it. Yeah, so if I was to do, the GSM of the paper does a lot for these. The thinner the paper, the smaller the twist and the turn. So you get a smaller flower. The thicker the paper, then you will get a wider flower. So that is one. Then we'll come along here and then we'll get the Lila China. Fold that in. Right. Fold that in. And then we're going to quill this up. So start it off on the quilling tool. And then a little bit of glue here, a little bit of glue here, and then a bit down the end. Just fold that in a bit more. So let me just quill that up. And then I'm going to get a wipe and clean this messy mat before I spread ink everywhere. Yep. There we go. And that's that one. So I'll just one more to do. Now you need to kind of hold it a little bit longer to let the glue set, but we spread that out. So that's that one. And then just the Merry Maiden really quick.
Someone saying the secret succulents, don't water them, less water the better. Dieta, I can confirm that only works to a point, and if you don't water them, then they die. I'm sorry, that's what happens. You can't just not water them forever, because then that's what I did, and they just died. Beth Farrell says, hello, super handsome Joe. Don't worry, even as a florist, I kill air plants, the ones that you buy from the seaside that are planted inside shells. I don't think I've seen an air plant. Doesn't ring a bell, Sharon,
No.
does it to you?
No.
No, maybe it's a more popular thing in the US, I'm not sure. Let us know what it is.
Clean down the mat. Right, so what I'm going to do then, right, you need to, with the textured cardstock, you kind of need to hold it a little bit longer. So I'm just going to pinch that there, but we're going to put these together on a card then, really quickly. So I'll just leave that down there. So we're just going to get our card base and then my craft card. I love using the craft card with the Succulents projects. So pop that here. And then we have another paper. I think this one came from, was it the Farmhouse with Sarah?
Is it not Winter
That's
White?
bad. No, this is, I think this was the
Farmhouse Nature's Garden?
Farmhouse. I think it was the Farmhouse one that this one came from. Now, I could be totally wrong, but it's one or two.
What is it in the
pads
comments?
out
Someone
there.
let us know. I want to say it's Winter White.
Please
I don't
let me
why.
know. Right, so we saw earlier, you get a plant pot die. So I've cut that out, but what I've done is I've put it through an embossing folder, and it gives it a little bit of texture. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just take the green that I had earlier on, and I'm just going to bring out some of the detail on the edge of the pot with that. Just going around the edge. You don't need to add more ink to the pad, just to bring out some of the detail in that. And then I have a little bit of Hessian ribbon, and I'm just going to pop that over the top of that, bend it back, and I'm going to stick this down on the card. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to curve it, but I'm going to stick foam pads here in the center. So.
Shadai says this is the best craft house ever. Thank you, Sharon.
Oh, thank you so much.
You know. We're going to have to insist on you coming back now, you know that, don't you?
Yeah, but hopefully the restrictions
Hopefully
now don't.
we're allowed.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it's all down to now, isn't it? Right, so there's our plant pot on the front of the card. So what I'll do is then really quickly, I'm going to add in my succulent. So here's the jade that we did earlier, but I'm putting the glue down the side and popping that, just kind of tucking that in a bit here. Then we have baby aloe, pop that guy in there. Then we have a lila china. So it's just layering them up. And then we have a sword grass that I'm going to just fan out like so. And he's going to go in behind. Look at that. Then we have our plant pot poke that with the stamp thinking of you. So I've put that on. So now I like using the 3D gel as well because it allows you to move things around. So if you're not happy with the placement, you can just move them around, you know, move it left or right out of the way of your plants. Then we stick in, this is the other baby aloe that I did, but did it in the brown. So it's the same plant, but it looks totally different.
It looks, I guess the size is different as well,
It is different as well. Now the Merry Maiden, I'm not going to open it out too far, just ever so slightly. And I'm going to put this in the gap at the back. Here, it just fills it up. And then we're going to add just to the front of this then, just this little ribbon, like that.
Beautiful.
And there you go.
Really, really beautiful. Absolutely adore that. What a wonderful project that is. Let me recap then what's coming in here for you. You're getting all of the different plants in here. So you've got your Lila China, which is this one just here. Then you've got your Merry Maiden. You've also got the Baby Aloe. This is your Neon Breaker. Then you have got the Jade. And finally, the sword grass. I mean, what else you're getting in here as well? So you're getting stamps and dies, of course, in there. You're getting your different embossing folders. So 4 different embossing folders, and also then your accessories as well. All those die accessories to enable you to create a really lovely project with these. Lots and lots of you sharing the love for Sharon this evening. Pamela says, hi Sharon, this is Pam from Detroit. I have all your stuff and I have a lot of these succulents in centerpiece in my living room. Watching you, I'm getting some more ideas. Pam in Detroit. Yeah, that is lovely paper, says Mary Reno. Jay says, Joe, my entire backyard is succulents and a few rose bushes. Good thing too, because of the drought here in Southern California, I just pulled out 5 that I managed to kill. Well, that is not good, is it? Katie says, we need Sharon to come back. This has been amazing. Michelle says, so creative, Sharon. You have been an absolute wow. She really, really has been an absolute wow, hasn't she? Don't forget, there's another full day coming up tomorrow here on Crafters TV as well. I'll be back with the lovely Becky Swan tomorrow at midday in the UK, 7 a.m. Across on the East Coast. That will be for, of course, Softer Side Live. Then we've got a brilliant craft along, myself and Michelle, with the ornate screen panels. That's coming up at 3 p.m. in the UK, 10 a.m. over on the East Coast. And then we've also got, of course, Second Chance Sunday. My last show of the week. It's my Fake Friday tomorrow. So who knows what's going to happen? Yeah, that'll be at 7 p.m. in the UK, 2 p.m. on the East Coast, and 11 a.m. Across on the West Coast. So make sure you join us for that. Laurie says, wow, Sharon, that was quick and amazing. Absolutely. Wasn't it just? Now, I just want to quickly share with you the Heartfelt greetings that we've got here, which is this one, as you can see, $44.97 or $50.85 to get a hold of these. Let me remind you of the flower fairies as well that we've got available. 3 different sets of these, which is brilliant. So what you're going to get in here is you are of course going to get the aster, the rose and the jasmine. You get the stamps and dies, you've got the papers and the flower dies as well. $59.95, $71.77, which is a half price deal, which is awesome. From the Heart Collection, these are beautiful, real statements here, and then there's some real clever elements on these and how you can configure them and put them together, which is great. And you are saving way more than you're spending, again, on those. And what you saw a little earlier in the show, the butterflies and blooms, $20.37 or for $26.89. That actually saves you £47 or $62, which is incredible as well, which is awesome. Oh, and the lovely Susie T is going to be joining us for the craft along tomorrow. Am I going to craft along? I don't know. I will have to I'll have to consult Michelle whether I'm going to come along tomorrow or not. I thought Michelle, she's in the studio, I thought she was going to walk straight across the camera then. Right, let's just take a quick break, give you an opportunity to check out the details of Club Inspire.
Welcome to Club Inspire, the crafters' companion community where you can feed your crafty obsession. Join our fantastic loyalty club today and receive 20% off your first order. We'll also give you 250 points to help get you started. Other benefits of joining Club Inspire include exclusive special offers and discounts for Club Inspire members only, exclusive sneak peek previews of brand new product launches, and of course the Club Inspire community group on Facebook, where you can access exclusive content such as downloads, offers and inspiration, and of course you can chat and share your makes with other members. You'll receive 1 point for every £1, dollar or euro you spend, and the more points you receive, the more benefits you'll unlock. So what are you waiting for? Sign up, join the club and start rewarding yourself today.
We've had to make some changes to our shipping charges and we want to keep you informed. With continued pressure on domestic shipments around mainland US, we've had to temporarily increase the cost of our regular 6 to 10 working day standard shipping service from $9.99 to $12.95 and our free shipping threshold from $100 to $125. We also have some really great news to tell you. We've introduced a brand new shipping service called Express Delivery. This is a fully tracked door-to-door service which takes 3 to 7 working days and costs $19.95. This option means you'll get your crafty goodies in your hands sooner, meaning less waiting and more crafting. We're also upgrading delivery services for our Gold and Platinum Club Inspire members who will now receive priority delivery on all of their orders. And if that wasn't enough, we've upgraded these orders to our new Express 3 to 7 day service. Your patience and understanding throughout this very busy time has been amazing. So we'd just like to say a huge thank you and we look forward to chatting to you again very soon.
We're talking about who we want to be partnered with on Strictly. What does he look like?
I've gone a blank. I tell you, he looks like Luke Evans.
Luke Evans. Kai. Who is dancing with AJ?
Yeah.
Yes, he seems lovely, doesn't he?
Yeah.
I think I'd want Katia or I don't know. Yeah, I'll just Katia, that'd be for me. Anyway, let's go back to Sharon because we've got to whiz through these heartfelt greetings. And obviously then after that, we're going to go home and watch a rerun of Strictly. That was terrible.
No. That's an image. Okay, so we have the Heartfelt Greetings collection. So in this collection, right, you have 4 feature dies that feature a sentiment, but they also come with stamps that are header and footer stamps. So what you do is basically you cut out the aperture, it has a floating sentiment in it, and then you stamp. As you'll see, there's an outline on this that mirrors the stamp. So you just stamp in the center of these, color them up, and then you make your cards. So the first one in the collection is called Thinking of You. Then we have our sending blessings there with the gorgeous butterflies. Again, we have then our happy birthday. So we did this one on Colour Me Happy there last night. We did a colouring of the balloons if you want to watch that back. And then finally then we have probably my favourite, and you saw Michelle use this earlier. This is the thank you, and this one is around aperture. So I'm actually going to use that one right now. I'm just going to do you a quick demo, because all the demos that we've done so far show you how to create a card on the outside with that die, but I'm going to show you how to use it on the inside of a card.
Fabulous.
So basically all you need to do is you will get an A4 sheet of card. Now I'm going to do some creasing and folding in this before I put it through the Gemini machine. So what you're going to do is you're going to fold it in half, because you want to find the center. But you don't have to crease it too much, because it's going to flatten out again when you go through the Gemini. It's just so you know where your creases are. But I'm going to fold this in and then fold it back on itself. Now you could use the scoreboard for this as well. And then fold it in like this, and then fold it back again. So then what we do then is we're just going to take the die, place it over the center, ensuring there's enough room on the top and the bottom there for your stamping. We'll pop this through the Gemini, and then I'm going to show you a quick technique that you can do around your aperture before you stamp and colour the main dies in it. So we'll pop this through the Gemini, just so you can see the aperture. So this is just going to go through, and then what we're going to do is we are going to get our stamping platform and we're going to pin it down basically, and I'll show you how to align the stamps on that then. So the stamps themselves are designed specifically, one for the top and one for the bottom. So when you're taking it off now, you do carefully. Now I did as a very silly thing there, you should put the tape on the inside of the die and not on the outside, just to protect the cardstock itself. But if you peel it back, that's the beauty of the low tack tape. And then you remove your die. So put your die to the side, and this is what you are left with.
Fabulous.
More tape. Now, to line up your stamps on this, all you do is, we get the stamping platform. Here, just
You're having a
pop
few
this
issues,
down.
you and that stamping platform tonight, aren't you?
Yeah, I am. It keeps running away
keeps
from me.
disappearing.
It keeps playing hide and seek. So I'm just going to put the magnets down here. Now, you'll notice on the stamping platform that I'm actually going over the edges where the feet should be going into the slots, but it won't matter. And because they're on springs, so they're not going to damage your cardstock. Okay, so I'm just going to line up the stamp, and I'm going to line up the bottom stamp here. Okay, just like that. And we're going to pick them up. So watch what happens when I put the stamping platform down to pick up the stamps. It doesn't damage the cardstock. So don't worry about it protruding over the edge. So for this, I'm going to use the Harmony and Quick Dry Black, because it's such a juicy pad. And I love using this one for all my stamping when I'm going to use alcohol inks. So then we just stamp, lift off, and that's how you get
Beautiful.
your roses. So it's the same process with all of the dies. Look, I am making a bit of a mess here now. But what we do is, around this aperture here, I want to add a little bit of a feature. So very quickly, I'm just going to show you, and then I'll bring in one that I've already done. I'm going to take one of the stamps, and I'm going to give it a quick clean here, just to take off the black ink. Quick wipe down. I'm popping it on a rocker block, and then I'm going to use the fuchsia opaque ink. And basically what I'm going to do is, I'm just going to put a piece of card under this so that I don't get ink everywhere. I'm not going to do it outside. I'm just going to do it over the edge. So you see it'll go
cute.
over, right? So you just do that a couple of times, working your way around, twist your stamp. Do you see? So you're covering your aperture, it's taking the blankness out of it. And when you've got that done and you've coloured up your stamps, this is what you're left with.
Nice, love that.
So just to show you, so you see just 3 times either side, just gives it a little bit more. So what we'll do then is we're going to put this on the inside of a card. So A4 sheet, we have a crease in the middle, and then this is just from the 8x8 pad. I think it's the Everyday Delights pad.
Awesome.
That's on the website. And I'm going to stick this in the middle, like so. Then, what I'm going to do is, starting on this side, I'm going to match edge to edge. So get my tape pen along the crease and along here, and match this up, there and there. Press it down. Then on the other side, we're going to do the same.
Awesome.
And this is going to be edge to edge, and press it down. So when you close your card, it lifts up.
Oh, beautiful.
And it's inside. So we'll just quickly finish this off. So I'll put decorative panels on either side. 1. And then same on the other side. This is just the polka dot paper. And I've put the green in. I'm trying to mirror the colours of the stamps on the inside. So when I close that over then, just very quickly on the outside, I have got another panel. So that's your front of your card. This is the Venetian lace die from my lace die collections and the vintage lace dies, and they're on the website as well at the moment. So on the outside then, just going to place that. I've cut that out of just the solids cardstock, but I've stamped 2 of the roses. Just put foam pads behind them and then place that on the centre. So that is the front of the card, but this is the inside.
Fabulous, absolutely love that. Sharon, did you want to grab the rest of your makes, and
Sure.
we'll do that card of the show in just a second. Let me just recap the 4 different sentiments then that you're getting here included. So you've got the happy birthday, which is this one here. You also have sending blessings along. Oh gosh, I'm real fingers and thumbs with these, aren't I? Along with thinking of you. And also thank you as well. Let's take a look at what Sharon's created and some stunning, stunning projects in this show, Sharon.
Right, so we'll try and line them all up. So the first one was the flower fairy, yeah?
Beautiful.
Okay, so that was our first one. Put that there. Will I get them all in?
You'll
The
be
second
fine.
one then was the butterflies and blooms.
Excellent.
Okay, third one then was our succulents.
Brilliant.
And then lastly then we have the rose heartfelt greetings.
Awesome. So 1 for the flower fairies, 2 for the butterfly, 3 the succulent, or 4 the sentiment. 1, 2, 3, or 4. Get voting. Get your votes in over on Facebook, Crafters TV, or of course Crafters Companion, of course, on YouTube. A few minutes, and then we'll do that vote for the card of the day as well. So let me share with you then. We're going to move back to the flower fairies. These have been your favourite actually this evening. So that is where we are going to go back to. Each one of these is concept. What you're getting in here is you're getting this beautiful character with the floral elements and the wings. They are detachable as well, the floral elements and the wings. So you can choose to build them up if you want to, or you can pair them back. It's completely up to you. But what you get is you get the beautiful character, then you get the flower in there, and then also you then get the card pad to go with that as well, which is fantastic, which is beautiful. Then what we have is this one just here, which is the rose. And again with the rose, you're then going to get that beautiful quilling flower in there and your papers to go with that. You then have, this one just here, is the aster. And with the aster, what you have is the floral, which is this one just here, that beautiful quilling flower. And then you've got the pad in there as well. A half price deal for you on that absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous collection. So popular. Your pick of the night, I think. It's what the most of you are going for in this particular show. Sharon, the plant pot card was amazing. Jean saying, Sharon, I fully enjoyed your demonstration with all the tips you gave us. I need to go back and look later when I am not trying to multitask. Sharon is on fire tonight, says Linny McLean. Her demos are super fast and absolutely gorgeous, aren't they?
Thank you
Linny
so
McLean.
much.
Right then, do you think we can squeeze one more in before the end, Sharon?
Yeah, we'll go really quick because we'll go back to the flower fairies.
Excellent.
Okay, so we're going to have a look then at Jasmine. Okay, so I'll just put a bit of card under this. In Jasmine, with this you get two sentiments like I made a wish and thought of you and special friend, and they were sentiments that people had actually requested before, so we've got them into this stamp set. But also with this stamp set, she comes with her own flower, and this is the little flower here, the Jasmine. So what I'm going to do then is, really quick, I'm just going to cut this out, but I wanted to show you how to get value out of your pad.
What one was number 3, Sharon?
So number
I'm
3.
I'm coming in behind you.
Lurking.
I'm lurking behind you, don't worry.
So,
the succulent.
Plant pot succulents. So with this pad, it's quite long. So what I'm going to do is, because you've got the green here, and you've got your stamen, and you've got your plant, I'm actually going to turn it this way. So if you go up and down like that, up the strip of paper, you get so much value out of these pads. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to trim this here.
Whilst you're just cutting that quickly,
Really quick.
can I just do card of the day,
Yeah.
Sharon, as well? So Sharon Succulent has won the card of the show. That means you've got options. You know, I was saying I'd seen that card concept done the other day. Was it this morning? Was it this one we did this morning? Very similar. Honestly, I don't know what day. All the days run into each other, don't they? So, card of the day. Michelle's from Wake Up Call. You've also got Michelle's craft along that she did as well. Oh, sorry, Michelle, I've just dropped your card. You've got that cute little stationery set. Or you can go for that one there, which is the succulent. So, play your crafts right. Craft along. I've dropped it again. Craft along. Or the craft house. 1, 2 or 3, let me know in the comments. Make your vote heard is what I would say.
Okay, so I've cut this out, and I'll just show you how to make the smallest, tiniest flower we've ever done. So this is so quick. So again, you just fold along the perforation line. Now this is an orange jasmine. There's different types of jasmine flowers, but the orange jasmine is the only one with a stamen. So if anybody wanted a totally useless fact, that's that's one there for you. Okay, so we're going to quill this up. So a little bit of the liquid tacky glue. And then we scroll. Now,
it's a cute little one, this, isn't it?
It is. Now, the trick is, let your hand relax. Don't pull it really winding tight.
Right.
Or you will not get a nice even spread of petals on your flowers.
Okay.
So then you hold that down and then you just spread them out. And look at the variety that you get in the colour.
Fabulous.
With that. So that's just a small little orange jasmine blossom. So really quickly then, what we've done is I've taken Jasmine herself earlier and I've gone ahead and coloured her in. Now I've used the tones that are in the pad to match my tones here. And if anybody wants to know the colours that I used, it's golden brown, dull brown, burnt orange, fair skin and earth brown. So they are
gorgeous.
all in your tri-blends. Okay? So we're going to come back to the little skirt. So we're going to work on the skirt here now. So we have our 3 layers and I just did the colour in there, and when I did the flick down I used the orange pen. So it just gives a little more to it. So when you've done your greens, come back with the orange pen. So we're going to line these up on our little fairy, just adding a little bit of a curve to it. Now another thing is, you can go over that stamped edge there if you want with your pens. You don't have to stay inside it. So if you want to eliminate the white edge, either fussy cut around it yourself, or you can come back and use your pen and colour in there. So that's our bottom layer. Then we're going to go to our mid layer, but I'm going to kick out the petals on this one. So they're kind of cupped up a little bit. And then another little bit of our tape pen, lining it up to the edge. And then these are the final ones. So I'm going to curve them in and give it a twist. Okay. And then pop that on.
Congratulations, Sharon. Your succulent card is the card of the day. Sharon's got 2 cards in for card of the week.
I've had a hat trick this weekend.
I mean, you could. I mean, that's pretty good going. Up it goes. All still to play for, of course, tomorrow. And there is some fabulous, fabulous cards on that shelf. So if you want to find out who wins card of the week, then you can do so by joining us, of course, tomorrow for Second Chance Sunday. Myself and Michelle, 7 p.m. in the UK, 2 p.m. on the East Coast, which is awesome.
Yeah. So what we do then, we're going to pop her onto a little card. So just again, standard A4 folded in half. And then this is, again, another Sarah signature collection. It's the one, now the name's the one with the bees in it. You know,
Beautiful. It's a Nature's Garden collection.
Beautiful. And I just think that the colours are absolutely perfect for this. So on black card, so I think black card, it kind of mirrors the black inking of the stamps. And it just gives a lovely lift, I think, to any of your pattern papers, especially if you're stamping. So then just pop this in here. And then another layer on top. And you see how quick and easy and fast it is to put these together, because the fairies and the flowers fill so much of the card itself. And again, I've inked around the edges of that one with honey pot. And then we're going to put our wings on, but I'm going to put the wings flat this time onto the card itself. But before I do that, I'm just going to hold it over. And I think there, yeah, put them down here. And then with herself then, I'm just going to pop a foam pad behind her, just to lift her up from the wings. I'll get a bigger foam pad, I think, than that one. Or here, I'll use the 3D gel, because it gives you a chance to maneuver. So then all I do then is I get my sentiment, and this one is the special friend one. Pop that on the bottom. And then just a little bit of foliage and a couple of flowers, and then we are good to go. So pop there and put a jasmine there. And then we'll come down the bottom and just do the same.
Really, really gorgeous. Such a joy to have Sharon here, says Linny. Alexia saying, loving the show, was watching on TV while designing on my PC. Sharon is awesome, looking good, Joe. Happy crafting, everyone. Sharon, lovely to see you live at Craft of TV. Beautiful card, says Miss Jack as well. So loads and loads of love coming for Sharon. It's been a wonderful couple of days having you with us in the studio.
It's been brilliant.
And you should see
the
colossal amount of sweets and chocolates that she's bought for us as well. So, I mean, we'll be on a sugar high till Christmas at this rate, Sharon. That's absolutely beautiful.
That's the plan. That's the plan. So that's Orange Jasmine.
Beautiful, beautiful card and creation, as they all have been from the lovely Sharon this evening. Let's take you back through then the designs that you've got in here. So you've got Jasmine, which is again coming with, each one of these comes with the flower. You've got everything you need in there as well. You've got embellishing elements, you've got sentiments, you've got even texture in there as well. Then you've got the Jasmine flower die. And of course then the papers that will go with that, which I love. This one here, this is your rose, and the rose of course is going to come with the rose quilling die and the papers. And last but by no means least, you have the aster as well. Again, that is coming with the flower and also then the papers as well, which is fantastic. Right, succulents. I'm going to put the details back on for those succulents. Let me just share those with you. So again, what you're getting in here, of course, this is my deal of the show, this one. The Little China. You've also got the Mary Maiden there, the Baby Aloe. This one here is the Neon Breaker, the Jade, and also the sword grass there as well. And then of course you're getting all the embossing folders, the stamps and dies and accessory dies in there as well. Oh, Sharon, can I say it's been an absolute pleasure having you. I hope we can have you back again sometime soon if all the, the stars align, let's say.
Well, hopefully I've had an absolutely brilliant time, and I just want to thank everybody who's wrote in, sent pictures, commented, and of course bought the product. And to everyone here at Crafters TV, I've had an amazing weekend.
Fantastic. It's been absolutely gorgeous having you in the studio with us. Thanks to Michelle as well, as with me earlier. Tracy out the back, George and Ina in the gallery, of course. I'll be back here tomorrow with Becky Swan. Is it Becky's first day? Is it Becky's first show on her own on Craft TV? Oh, fantastic. Really looking forward to that. Really adore working with Becky. So that'll be Softer Side of Life. And then, of course, we've got a craft along and then Second Chance Sunday. After that, I tell you what, it's been emotional, but I'll see you back here for another full day of crafting tomorrow. Take care.